Hi, everyone. My name is Harpreet, and welcome back to our mindfulness discussion, part two, where we are just discussing holistic practices, also the integration of mindset therapies or mindset practices. And I am an Ayurvedic health and wellness practitioner as well as a mindset coach. And so today we also have Kate. Please tell us what you do.
Hi everyone, my name is Kate and I'm a mindfulness coach and I'm a relationship coach. I focus on mindfulness and relationship as a coach.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. So we're going to we're going to just dive right into our questions this time. I guess as a relationship coach, what is like one common relationship pattern that you see with clients and how do you help them shift it?
One of the common relationship patterns I see recently, and that's most of the clients who I work with, they have that pattern, specifically women over 30,
Yeah.
30, 35 and more. Those are women who are really determined. They have their stable jobs and they are they know what they want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
Their common relationship issue is that their man, or they don't have man, or their man doesn't match their level of everything. So they come upset that they earn more money than their man, or they're more disciplined than their man, or they meet constantly men who are just way lower levels than they are. And those are just how they explain it. Most of the times they don't know what's happening, like why it's so, why they attract this kind of people and why they don't meet the men that are their level. So that's the pattern that's most common. And the reason for that pattern is usually very different. I always start to look at parents. Where these women come from? What is the family structure? What was happening in their family when they were growing up? And what kind of beliefs they have about themselves that create that reality for them, that they don't meet the quality man. The whole work is very deep, and you can't just pinpoint okay, this is the reason for that girl or this. But if we work one-on-one with a client, those reasons come up, and it's really for me, it's easier to see as a coach from the side, and also mindfulness. I focus on listening, and I see which patterns created that reality for them. And with energy work and with the mindfulness, understanding what was happening in their lives that they now create that reality, we start removing and shifting their energy, and women start seeing other men who are actually were there all alone, but they just didn't even notice them, or they all of a sudden start meeting the men that they like, and being more happy, seeing that they can date and attract to the man they want. So yeah, that would be the most common situation.
Interesting. So is it would you say that most of these women would like to see someone, I guess, at the same type of economic level, or is it just all over the board, like spiritual and mental and emotional? Because, there can be a lot of different types of levels, right? Not just one. So you're saying they're not on the same level? Because I know a lot of people listening out there might be like, well, I don't really care too much about his, education or, what he's done, but it's how he treats me and, how I feel more about his values and things. So can you maybe talk a little bit about that too?
It's very individual work, because we also need to understand whether the girl has her own expectations or it's the societal expectations that she tries to search in a man. So this is also something we uncover in a one-on-one personal work. to understand whether it's like maybe her parents keep pushing her that she needs to get that high quality man, and it's some imaginary person who is supposed to be like a director in corporation and only that type. And she's like trying to hunt those people, but they never there for her. And because it's not her real desire, it's desire of her parents. So this is something that, yeah, would definitely uncover like what exactly the girl herself wants to have in her life, what she needs, not like expectations of parents or friends or other society.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happens as well, and that's a part of unleashing kind of the whole like real persona behind the person and
Yeah.
behind negative beliefs about herself.
Okay. I just wanted to, because that's something that came up because I know a lot of people around me, and it's like they ideally want a specific type of man or person. I mean, man, just, I'm saying, say for me or my friends, but because of, like you said, societal pressure and what people are going to think, what people would probably say that person would be better for you, just compare it like on paper, right? Education and money and house and this, but then, maybe he might not give her all the attention that she needs. So I think, really finding out what she wants is super important, like you said. So I just wanted to put that out there because it was like something that was on my mind too. Yeah.
It's important what she believes she deserves, because like and if it's really true desire. So we also like discovering what kind of beliefs she has about herself, because she might be saying to everyone, I want the man, like I deserve the man who is like high quality and like has an amazing job and house and car and everything and travels every year somewhere and takes me with him. So like she might say all those things that she deserves it, but deep inside she doesn't believe so. And session after session, we can uncover like what exactly happening, like what really she believes about herself. Because this is the main problem. If she can't manifest the man she really says she deserves, that means that she doesn't believe 100% that she deserves that man. We all created out of our beliefs, and we see
Yeah.
around us exactly what we believe in. We manifest like exactly what we think we deserve. So that's what also we work on, like in one-on-one program, where we go deep into energy work. And additionally, we can go to past life regression that I also give as a practice that may uncover some reasons why she still didn't manifest the man she wants. Yeah,
Okay. And then do you see like that, shifting the beliefs, like the limiting beliefs, is that, a pretty powerful work that you do? And do people actually see results in that? Because I know there's some people who are just like, I've been, trying to work on my limiting beliefs for years now and nothing has shifted. So maybe for the people that are listening out there, like, is it really even possible?
yeah, I mean, for me, myself, I keep shifting my beliefs constantly. It works. I see clients who like they change their mindset. So once you do that work on energy level and talk through it, and they journal about it, they see that their behavior start changing and their mindset shifts, and therefore they start attracting different people around them, and like their life changes. So yeah, that happens with clients 100% after that work.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for asking. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Um, how about you? How do you guide clients in using Ayurvedic practices and knowledge so they can feel more mentally, emotionally balanced, resilient?
Yeah. So, just like to recap what Ayurveda is, because I know a lot of people who might be listening might not even know what Ayurveda is. And I feel like that's always a good foundation to let people know or kind of explain what Ayurveda is. So really, it's just a science that was started in India about 5,000 years ago. And it's what it does is just, it helps to just balance and harmonize your mind, body, and soul. And so it's a very holistic and kind of a spiritual medicine, you could say. And with that, with that in mind, Ayurveda really believes in like routine. And so, especially like a morning routine and an evening routine. And so I think a lot of us living in 2024 now are just like in hustle culture, got to get as much done. It's always based on like, how productive are we during the day, right? How many things did we get off the checklist? And so we're always just in like this, like go, go, go mode all the time, right? That mentality. And so for a mind though, what it does is it creates this sense of like urgency. And so we don't really have that sense of calm as much, right? Because everywhere we look, we're looking on social media. It's always just like so-and-so is just like running around doing so many things. And here I am during the day, like maybe I've accomplished like 2 things today. And, everything else on the to-do list hasn't even been done yet. So I think a morning practice and the evening practice is really essential, whatever that might be. So say it's like breath work, right? And so whatever your mind, body constitution is based on that, then there can be like, say it's alternate nose breathing, or it's like Kapalabhati, or just cooling breathing, just to like keep your body really in sync with your breath, because that's a huge determinant of like how peaceful and calm and connected you feel with your body is your breath. Like if it's super shallow, then, you're just kind of like in a state of flux. Like maybe it's just that fight or flight, kind of like, you're not really like settled and grounded. So that would be, first thing. Secondly, I definitely always tell my clients to have some type of meditation practice where they connect with themselves inward. So, whatever that might be. So maybe it's like a chanting, some mantras, just guided meditations, or just sitting in silence and just kind of like maybe listening to your breath, or just focusing on the third eye, whatever feels good to you. But even like 5 minutes a day, morning and night, really allows your body to just kind of calm down and just like be in the moment, which is super important, because our minds, like we're always focused on what's the next thing to do, right? What do we have to do after this? It's not like, okay, let me just focus here. It's always like, okay, after this, what do I have to do? Okay, I got to grab food, and then I got to get the kids, and then I got to make dinner, and then I got to get some stuff done, and chores around the house or whatever it might be. So it's never about, what, today was good. Right now is great, so just kind of staying like in the moment, right? And so, and then just kind of letting, I think resiliency has a lot to do with just kind of not, and this is not as much Ayurvedic, but more of like, I'm sure you'll agree to, just kind of more general mindset practices is like to just flow with whatever's coming your way, rather than going upstream and resisting whatever's going on. And so I think there's a lot more peace that you will find once you feel like, you know what, I got through so much and I'm fine. I mean, whatever else is going to come my way, I'm going to be able to conquer it too, rather than always being in this state of like, gosh, fearing the uncertainty and worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow. Gosh, what's going to happen tomorrow? If I make this decision, then what's going to happen? Then how is this going to work out? Like, just kind of let it flow. And I think having those routines, and also, the breath work and the meditation that I talked about, and just kind of like really being in the present, will allow you to be stronger and just kind of, conquer whatever is going to come your way. And I think, you'll see that more in your life every day, and just know, you know what, I don't need to be really even attached to things anymore, or just, the certainty of life. Let it come, whatever it is. And I'm ready for it.
How do you create those routines? Do you help clients to create their routines for morning and evening? Like you try different styles with them?
Yes. So what we do first is like what I talked about is really assessing their mind-body constitution, which is called dosha. So say they have more vata, which is more air and space. So then we would create a routine that is grounding them more, because they're kind of up in their heads all the time. They are kind of in their thoughts a lot more. And so something that's very grounding, just kind of like maybe alternate nose breathing, right? On both sides like that, is really balancing the left side and the right side. So what that does is creates a lot more like balance on both sides of their brain and their body. So what we would do is, do the assessment, the Ayurvedic assessment, see what their dosha is, and then based on that, then kind of put together a routine for morning and evening. And also like for different seasons too, because, things change during like the fall, the winter, because eating has a lot to do with it. Like if we're eating a lot of cooling things and very cold, and then it's really cold outside, it's just like what it does is just creates a lot more vata in our body. And so that actually is more of a detriment. And so people don't realize like everything they're putting in their body, it has an effect on how they're thinking and how their being is, right? What their well-being is like. So it's more of like a whole approach, but definitely that's how we would put together a morning and evening routine. And so I think having someone being accountable to helps a lot, because sometimes I know it's just hard to put the phone away at night. And, because we're just like, okay, I have like 15, 20 minutes before I'm going to sleep. Let me just see what's going on in the world, scrolling. And then, that blue light is just not as good for you, right before you go to sleep, just because then that's, harmful for like your melatonin levels, which allows us to sleep, right? So one quick little thing is just even get like blue blocking glasses or orange glasses, which I have these really ugly glasses that I put on at night, but they definitely help a lot. And then first thing in the morning, just getting some sunlight in your eyes so that you're awake and your body is like, all right, time to get up and get ready for the day. So a couple things like that.
Those were nice tips. I also was going to ask you what would be maybe your favorite practical tip for listeners of this podcast, and they can apply already today to reduce their stress or boost their energy.
Yeah, so I would say, just as a general tip, not just like, based on their Ayurvedic dosha, but just to reduce their stress, like for me personally, has been kind of like relying more on low impact exercise. So rather than like, really hardcore cardio and just getting that cortisol levels really high, because most of us these days have high cortisol and stress. It's just the, world we live in. And so I have kind of reverted back to more of like slower paced exercises. So yoga, just very, slow moves, and then walking every day, which is kind of like a meditation in itself, when you're just walking, not even listening to anything sometimes, but just taking in like the air and like nature and just smelling everything. Like today I took like a long walk, like that crisp air. You just come back, you just feel so refreshed, and everything that was just kind of like weighing you down kind of feels like it's dissipated a lot more. So I think exercise doesn't have to be hardcore, hit, or just something that's like super high impact, but just something to get your blood flowing, to get your thoughts kind of like in check. And, of course, it boosts your energy as well. And then reduces stress, right away. And you notice a difference. So if you keep it up, consistency over time, then you'll notice the impact that it really makes on your day-to-day life. And so you'll sleep much better. You'll feel much better. Obviously, like, you're staying in shape, just even with like long walks, right? And it really helps to reduce your cortisol levels, like overall. So just that's one little thing.
Yeah, everyone needs to reduce their cortisol nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's super high. Okay, well, going back to some of the mindfulness practices and tips that you talked about, can you share with like our listeners here something that something that our listeners can do to feel more connected and confident And maybe perhaps like second part to that is like, then how will that actually create more love within themselves? Like to cultivate that inner relationship or that self-love within themselves.
Yeah, when I hear words self-confidence and self-love, my mind and my experience goes straight up to higher self. The higher self concept as being your most spiritual self, most divine part of you, and that connection to the source through higher self. So to feel self-confident and feel love for yourself, you definitely need to remember that you are more than just a human body. And you are a great spirit. You are connected to everything around you, every human being and everything here. It's a mindfulness too. It's like just knowing the knowledge of it, that all the sacred knowledge says the same too. Like you are connected to everything around you. So just simply do not forget that. And what I do for myself, like I leave notes everywhere for myself, like for my lower self, like I keep reminding myself that I am higher self. I am already higher self. And also, of course, there's meditation, which you use to connect to your higher self. There's a lot of light going on, and you can feel, you can see, some people have good visual perception in meditation. Some people don't, but they can feel it or they can sense it. So as to me, I even got to the point where I could like channel higher self, how I could just like hear it, like what the answers to my questions. It didn't last too long, but I got to the point where I was channeling, and it's an amazing feeling. That's what brings you confidence. You just know things, and you know that like you understand how the world is basically how it's all created, and that the whole world is you in the first place. And that knowledge is just amazing. Like that what brings you self-love, self-confidence. Out of that, you start creating your reality, your regular life, like your relationships with your family, with your friends, with work you want to do. You also start like understanding more what's your purpose, what exactly you are here in this earth, in this lifetime to do, like why are you here, and what would be the best option for you to do, to spend your energy for and time. So yeah, that's and that happens through belief. First of all, you have to believe that it's this way, that there is something bigger than just human body, and practice meditations. Meditations call in higher self. Keep reminding yourself that you are higher self. There's this big consciousness that like we're all connected through. So yeah, that's definitely what brings you self-love, 100%. And from that, there's all different additional sources like angels, who also you can call in, your spiritual guides, and you can communicate with them. So I would like, as for me, like since I dove so deep into all that and I experienced it on myself, I believe in it like as like I don't know how else it can be. I just know that this is the way, this is how it's existing, and that's the reality, that's the truth. I feel like 100% self-love, like 100% confident. Of course, I get into my ego a lot too, like because I'm a human, I may be like shy, or I may be like, I don't know, sometimes maybe not loving myself enough, but I know those tools to come back to myself. Like I always stay connected with, my higher self basically, and remind myself. So those little notes, I even have like just, I create sometimes art, and I can create like right there, like I am higher self. Sometimes I can use it in my passwords, like just combination, like higher self, like something, something. So it's like, you have to believe and you have to remember, because it's so easy to forget, and it's so easy to just be in your emotions and like just erase all that.
Yeah. So, with that, I was going to ask you because, I know that for obviously women or whoever you coach, right? They're looking for a relationship, but then can you talk about like how sometimes a lot of people just kind of forget that relationship within themselves? I know we talked about like self-love, but really having that like kind of loving inner relationship and just like even spending time alone, right? Within themselves, right? By themselves, maybe just going and taking them out to like, just dates or just buying themselves something because it's like, why
Yeah.
not? Right? Like you're your first love, I guess, right? So can you talk about that? Because I see a lot of people just so focused on relationships outside of them. Like I need a man or I need a woman, right? And then the minute they're alone, they just they're just so lonely.
Yeah, really lonely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where you don't have that connection. Like you don't feel connected to anything, and you have a void that you try to fill in with the person.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot because of trauma from parents, from like the way they were brought up. And it's not that the parents is the problem. It's more like that's the experience their soul chose to go through. And that's how they can, learn from it and get those lessons. And all the paths lead to self-love, like overall, from any type of background. So if any situation that was with them happened to them, maybe some traumatic situations, they all were meant for them to learn how to love themselves in the first place. So that's what I help uncover, like the reasons behind some situations in the past, that what they can learn and how they can increase their love for themselves, knowing that that happened for a reason, and find that reason. Um, yeah, once you like, if you stay connected very well with yourself, with your higher self, you love yourself, you are never lonely, you are confident, you are comfortable to do things that you love to do, like going to the beach by yourself. Like you don't need anyone there with you. Going to the movies by yourself, eating lunch somewhere by yourself, like doing anything, going to the theater. I've been doing that too. Like I love my own company. Like, and it's not that I choose it over with people. Like I choose myself like over hanging out with people. It's like I find a healthy balance for myself where I can enjoy my own company, and I also have a bunch of friends who I also enjoy company, or my like partner. So yeah, for women, um, if they would like to attract a confident, self-loving man, they supposed to become confident, self-loving woman first.
Yeah.
So this is how you attract who you are. Um, and women who try to like feel that void of loneliness, or even again like societal expectations that they supposed to have the man at this age and that many children and they have to be married and all that, like that's also comes from not enough self-love, and there needs some work to be done, more like of connecting to yourself again, knowing who you are in the first place.